So, I just picked up the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. It's Samsung's new phone. I went to the launch event and I got the new phone. So I'm going to unbox it right now. I got the old phones here. This is the S24, the S23 Ultra, both Ultras. You got the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. That is one of the Androids I really liked. Tough competition for Samsung. This is the Realme, and this is the iPhone. So I'm going to compare all of them, but first, got to set these aside and unbox the latest and greatest AI phone. I got to go hands-on with it for about 3 hours, and it's definitely software-based in terms of the upgrade. Let's take this out. Get that satisfying, yeah, the glue coming off there. But you'll notice some design changes. Specifically, there are more rounded corners compared to the old phone. So this one kind of hurt the hand a little bit. And the new phone, which I'm powering on right now for the first time, this new phone is kind of sloped corners. It reminds me of every other phone, but yes, it's not as distinctive. It's not like the Note from back in the day. It still has the S Pen right there, which is pretty great. I find the S Pen more useful than most people, but I spend a lot of time with it, and I found some good hidden features that I'll show you in a later video. Do like and subscribe. I'm going to have more videos on the S25 Ultra as I test it out. It comes out on February 7th. So there's a lot of time in between now and then. I'm going to set this up manually. Excuse me while I choose Wi-Fi and I set up passwords for half a second. So as that boots up, I'm going to transfer things over and actually explore what else is in the box. Unboxings aren't what they used to be. There's actually less inside the box these days. There's no charger, for example, but there is this stuff, which includes instructions. There is what I call the plunger. It's a SIM card ejector, so always helpful to have one of those. Some directions on how to get to that SIM card ejector. There's no micro SD card. I get asked that every single time. It hasn't been there since like the Note days. So, and then here is a USB cord. Now, it does have really fast transfer speeds. It is Wi-Fi 7. It also has new wireless charging. That's 25 watts. There we go. It's Qi 2 compatible, except it doesn't have MagSafe to it. But I still find wired transfer speeds to be the way to go. So I'm going to select that. So if you navigate to the Samsung folder in your App Store, you can find something called Smart Switch. And that's super handy. So I'm going to send some data through a wire. They couldn't have made it easier to transfer stuff these days with Smart Switch. So it's not like the old days where you would have to wait forever and not get some of your contacts. Everything is backed up these days, which is pretty great. That applies to Samsung phones. That applies to most Android phones. And here we go, giving permissions to copy all my data, all my apps, everything that was on this old S24. But look how these corners are around. You can really see it right now. So copying everything. The back is relatively the same. It uses a titanium frame and then the glass back, a matte texture on there, so that really hasn't changed. The colors obviously have changed. We have a really good article on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra colors. The rings around the camera are a little bit different, and this top camera is 50 megapixels. It's the new ultra wide. You also have the 200 megapixel main camera and a 10 and 50 megapixel, that's the 3 times zoom and 5 times zoom, telephoto lens. So definitely some changes here. Not all the sensors have changed, but the post-processing has changed. So you'll notice a difference in your photos. That's partly on account of the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor that's in this new phone. This is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 phone from Qualcomm, both from Qualcomm, obviously. And yeah, it is going to be more efficient and better at tweaking photos when you need a little bit of help, especially at nighttime. It's a mix of Gemini and Bixby. So Google Gemini and Bixby are on board, and it seamlessly pivots between them, so you don't even need to decide, which is actually really helpful in a lot of ways. And the AI is kind of amazing. It's actually useful. I really wasn't into AI on phones previously. Apple Intelligence kind of launched a little late, and it just didn't wow a lot of consumers, and I'm in full agreement with that. But here, I think this is what Apple Intelligence was trying to be. It has cross-app functionality. Now I'm on the home screen, but I can just hold this button for the first time, and Gemini comes up, and it's probably going to take me through some starter menus, which is great. But it can do multi-step tasks. So you're able to say, find me a vegan restaurant in San Jose that serves burgers and allows pets, and then text my friend Chris. And then it should, and maybe it doesn't have that contact, but
I found these restaurants in San Jose that are vegan, serve burgers, and allow pets. Vegetarian house, vegan restaurant, Loving Hut vegan cuisine, the Funny Farm restaurant. Which one do you want to send a message to Chris?
so it'll do all these in one step. So let me exit that. So you can summarize that entire list and send it to a friend, or pick one out. So it is multiple tasks all in one, which is pretty cool. It's not very siloed. It doesn't do everything. There are about 20 apps that I discovered when I was doing my 3 hours of hands-on time. Let's see, back that up. And you type in, here's a little shortcut for you, the @ symbol. So if I go and type in the @ symbol, doing this through a camera lens is fun. So it has cross-app functionality between these 20 apps. You got messages, phone, WhatsApp, utilities, Google Flights, Google Hotels, Google Maps, YouTube, OpenStax, Google Calendar, Google Keep, Google Tasks, Gmail, Google Docs, Google Drive, Spotify, and YouTube Music. So I could probably enable these other ones in permissions, but that should be 20 there. That's what I saw at the hands-on. I don't know if there's any hidden ones or ones that are coming up, but I think it's on the roadmap to doing better than any other AI, especially last year's, which felt like a first-gen AI product. What I really wanted to do is ask Bixby and Gemini to send the last photo I took in my gallery and send it to a specific person. Right now, I asked Siri that recently, and Siri, when I said, text the last photo I took to Chris, I'll just name a contact for this example, it typed out the last photo I took in a text message to this person. That's not really helpful. Instead, I had to use the touchscreen, go to the gallery, go to the share button, select the contact, and send the photo. It's stuff like that AI could solve, and it should really be context-based. It does have access to utilities, so that's really cool. So I can search a bunch of stuff. It also has, if you go to Photos, you're able to go to Photos and find things based on subject matter, and multi-step commands there. So that's really cool. But I'm going to continue setting up this phone. I do like these rounded corners. It's already nice to play with. Obviously, I don't need this anymore. And the last thing I'll show you is the S Pen, which I dig playing around with. It's very context-based in terms of Smart Select, or AI Select as they call it. You can draw, you can take notes, but I'm going to show you something I love to play around with, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. I think it's great for journalists. It's great for journalists. It's great for students. So if you're a student, pay attention to this feature if you're in lectures. So of course you can draw, so you have that ability. But one thing I love is to be able to take notes and record audio. And I'll show you a special trick. And I may have suggested this to Samsung years ago, and they finally added it in the final Note phone. So, okay, so I'm going to hit the plus button, and I'm going to do voice recording. So this is what's really cool about this. So say you're in a lecture and you're in history class, and they're going over the American Revolution, and just as an example, hit the scribble button. So they give some details about that. And then they go over history class again, you're kind of falling asleep. They give some facts about the Civil War, and then, they skip to World War I, they skip over some, and then World War II. And they're given 3 facts for everything. And you're kind of, you want to recite stuff. For journalists, this is great because say you want to pull a quote from a briefing that you go to. Anyways, you can hit the stop button. I'm going to dedicate a video just to this feature because it's, again, super cool. And it'll play back the audio. Let's see. It'll play back the audio. And instead of having just a timeline and have to scrub through to get that quote or get that fact, you just tap on the scribble and it'll go straight to that audio. So that is a feature that I was using for a gadget called LiveScribe. It really no longer exists, but I did tell Samsung you should incorporate this idea into the S Pen, and lo and behold, it is here. So you can use this as an interactive timeline instead of trying to go through that timeline. Anyways, I don't think anybody else knows about that feature, but that's one of the reasons I love the S Pen. There's tons of hidden features in there. Not everybody uses that, but I think it's great. It doesn't have Bluetooth anymore, so you can't do remote selfies, but it still does air commands, and it still warns you if you have the S Pen out and you forget to put it back. It'll have like a little pop-up message. So it still has that ability to track or warn you about the S Pen not being holstered, and that doesn't require Bluetooth Low Energy, which now this lacks. But it's a lighter phone. It's not as thin as what they're trying to premiere right now is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. So that's going to be a new phone. We don't know quite where that fits into the lineup, but it's probably going to be somewhere in between the S25 Plus and this. But yeah, that is one of the coolest features of the S25 Ultra. Again, going to be reviewing it on theshortcut.com. Give this a like. Give this, subscribe to the videos. We're going to have more of them. But this has been just a brief unboxing. Again, not much to the unboxing. It's a little tour of the phone, but I do dig this Ultra, this silver-colored titanium silver. So ask me any questions. I'm going to be around in the comments and taking all questions. So have fun if you're pre-ordering. Use our pre-order link. You'll get an extra $50 off, or extra $50 in Samsung credit for like accessories and so forth. So do that before the pre-order ends. That's my one warning. Because with the pre-order, that double storage bonus disappears. Instead of getting the 256 gigabytes of storage, you can get 512 for the price of 256. That ends as soon as it actually releases. So February 6th, it's going to be too late right after that. So get it by February 6th. Pre-order that. And a lot of the times these phones end up shipping early. So definitely one of the best phones, 6.9-inch screen. Check it out. We'll have more content. Leave me comments.